Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a nice morning. It's nice and sunny here. I'm going to do the Zen Tales 5. So, if you're all sitting comfortably, or standing comfortably, or lying comfortably, I'll begin. The first one's called Sleeping in the Daytime. The master Soyen Shaku passed from this world when he was 61 years of age. Fulfilling his life's work, he left a great teaching, far richer than that of most Zen masters. His pupils used to sleep in the daytime during midsummer, and while he overlooked this, he himself never wasted a minute. When he was but 12 years old, he was already studying Tendai philosophical speculation. One summer day, the air had been so sultry that little Soyen stretched his legs and went to sleep while his teacher was away. 3 hours passed when, suddenly waking, he heard his master enter. But it was too late. There he lay, sprawled across the doorway. "I beg your pardon, I beg your pardon," his teacher whispered, stepping carefully over Soyen's body, as if it were that of some distinguished guest. After this, Soyen never slept again in the afternoon. Sometimes you can get something across in a very gentle way, but it's just as effective. You don't have to use harsher methods. The next is a thief who became a disciple. One evening, as Shichiri Kojun was reciting sutras, a thief with a sharp sword entered, demanding either money or his life. Shichiri told him, "Do not disturb me. You can find the money in that drawer." Then he resumed his recitation. A little while afterwards, he stopped and called, "Don't take it all. I need some to pay taxes with tomorrow." The intruder gathered up most of the money and started to leave. "Thank a person when you receive a gift," Chichiri added. The man thanked him and made off. A few days afterwards, the fellow was caught and confessed, among others, the offence against Chichiri. When Chichiri was called as a witness, he said, "This man is no thief, at least as far as I am concerned. I gave him money, and he thanked me for it." After he had finished his prison term, the man went to Shichiri and became his disciple. Again, we can learn a lot from how to deal with people from that. Again, like the first one, we don't have to be violent. We can win people over by love and compassion. As the next story says also, this is called Right and Wrong. When Bankei, who was his great Zen master, held his seclusion, weeks of meditation, pupils from many parts of Japan came to attend. During one of these gatherings, a pupil was caught stealing. The matter was reported to Bankei with the request that the culprit be expelled. Bankei ignored the case. Later, the pupil was caught in a similar act, and again Bankei disregarded the matter. This angered the other pupils, who drew up a petition asking for the dismissal of the thief, stating that otherwise they would leave in a body. When Bankei had read the petition, he called everyone before him. "You are wise, brothers," he told them. "You know what is right and what is not right. You may go somewhere else to study if you wish, but this poor brother does not even know right from wrong. Who will teach him if I do not? I am going to keep him here, even if all the rest of you leave." A torrent of tears cleansed the face of the brother who had stolen. All desire to steal had vanished. Wouldn't it be nice if in this modern society people acted like that rather than in a punitive way? using anger and negativity all the time. Anyway, let's find out how grass and trees become enlightened. During the Kamakura period, Shinkan studied Tendai 6 years and then studied Zen for 7 years. Then he went to China and contemplated Zen for 13 years more. When he returned to Japan, many desired to interview him and asked obscure questions. But when Shinkan received visitors, which was infrequently, he seldom answered their questions. One day, a 50-year-old student of enlightenment said to Shinkan, "I have studied the Tendai school of thought since I was a little boy, but one thing in it I cannot understand. Tendai claims that even the grass and trees will become enlightened. To me, this seems very strange." "Of what use is it to discuss how grass and trees become enlightened?" asked Shinkan. "The question is how you yourself can become so. Did you ever consider that?" "I never thought of it that way," marvelled the old man. "Then go home and think it over," finished Shinkan. You see, sometimes we get so caught up with reading technical details and things about the spiritual path, we don't think that we should be contemplating how we ourselves can reach enlightenment in our own way. 1,000 monks, 1,000 ways, the Zen says. So don't get too caught up in the intellectual and thinking about things that ultimately are useless. What does it matter how grass and trees become enlightened? So let's look at the stingy artist, who wasn't so stingy, as we'll find out. Gessen was an artist monk. Before he would start a drawing or painting, he always insisted upon being paid in advance, and his fees were high. He was known as a stingy artist. A geisha once gave him a commission for a painting. "How much can you pay?" inquired Gessen. "Whatever you charge," replied the girl, "but I want you to do the work in front of me." So on a certain day, Gessen was called by the geisha. She was holding a feast for her patron. Gessen, with fine brush, did the painting. When it was completed, he asked the highest sum of his time. He received his pay. Then the geisha turned to her patron, saying, "All this artist wants is money. His paintings are fine, but his mind is dirty. Money has caused it to become muddy. Drawn by such a filthy mind, his work is not fit to exhibit. It is just about good enough for one of my petticoats." Removing her skirt, she then asked Gessen to do another picture on the back of her petticoat. "How much will you pay?" asked Gessen. "Oh, any amount," answered the girl. Gessen named a fancy price, painted the picture in the manner requested, and went away. It was learned later that Gessen had these reasons for desiring money. A ravaging famine often visited his province. The rich would not help the poor. So Gessen had a secret warehouse, unknown to anyone, which he kept filled with grain, prepared for these emergencies. From his village to the national shrine, the road was in very poor condition, and many travellers suffered while traversing it. He desired to build a better road. His teacher had passed away without realizing his wish to build a temple, and Gessen wished to complete this temple for him. After Gessen had accomplished these 3 wishes, he threw away his brushes and artist materials and retired to the mountains and never painted again. So we should never judge by appearances, never judge a book by its cover. He didn't want to tell people why he did this. He thought that would be egotistic, and people would do it to try and for their ego. "Oh, I've helped to do this, I've helped them with the road, I've helped to build a temple, So he just wanted to do the work for the sake of it. Okay, so there we are. There are the Zen Tales for Zen Tales 5. Hope you all get something from them and learn a little bit from from these Zen teachings. So to all of you, Om Shanti, 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 peace, 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 peace on earth and goodwill to all beings. Thank you very much for listening.